Who's that? You know who that is?
You?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Excellent. Grass season is here. Excited.
I can see why the girls do the bun. It pulls their hair back. Might make look younger, like the women with plastic surgery. Well, just kidding.
Yeah. Did you see Sabalenka this past tournament? I think she played without a bun one day. I think she played bunless.
Well, it pulls back your skin. Is what it does. I only did it because I haven't flat ironed my hair, so that's why I did it.
All right, we ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's lock in. Boom, let's go. Today's Sunday. Loving it. Come on. All right, hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is the 12th of June, and it is Sunday, Domingo, as you would say in Espanol, right? Happy Sunday. Today begins the beginning of the new playlist for grass season and the 2022 Wimbledon Championships. I'm really excited about grass season. For the longest time, Wimbledon for me has been kind of the pinnacle of all the majors. Unfortunately, it seems to me as time moves forward that it seems to be less and less of the pinnacle, and we're going to talk a lot about this, at least somewhat. But before we get into Wimbledon, the tournament, some historical things, and why I think it's not necessarily the granddaddy of all majors anymore. And by the way, you can start the poll question: which major do you consider the granddaddy or grandma of all the majors? Again, it's for generations been Wimbledon for the most part, but the poll question is what major do you like the best? Not necessarily history, but what do you like the best? I think it's changed from Wimbledon over the years, especially now with the lack of Belarusians and Russians to be able to play in it, and as well the ATP and WTA removing points for the players because of that. So we're going to talk about that a lot. We're going to start by leaving that aside and talking about some of the famous players, or historically your favorite grass court players. Okay, so I jotted down a list of a few, and for me, these are my favorite grass court players of my generation, and some of them I could say of all time, because my father, again, he's 84, and he had me watch and study a lot of other players long before I was born. All right, Stefan Edberg, I think we can agree. Boris Becker, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic. By the way, on my list of favorite grass course players, Novak Djokovic is the only male that I selected with a two-handed backhand. Historically, I like one-handed backhands. I don't particularly care for two hands on the racket on the backhand side, especially for men. But I'll give Djokovic a pass on that one. He made my list. Justine Henin. You see Justine back here behind us. Tim Henman, by the way. Tim Henman, I always liked a lot. Too bad that he never won Wimbledon. Hence why at SW19 it's Hendon Hill and Murray Mountain, because Murray actually won Wimbledon twice. Bjorn Borg. Not that Borg was my favorite player of all time, but there were some memorable matches he played there, namely against John McEnroe. I think one of your favorite grass court players was John McEnroe.
No, he wasn't my favorite. You asked me to mention which my favorite has to be Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, Serena Williams, Justine Henin. I think Venus should be mentioned. She wasn't my favorite, but she should be mentioned. I actually enjoyed watching Yana Novotná. Felt like she could have won a couple more. Sampras, of course. Love Sampras on grass court. I liked Andy Roddick on grass court. I enjoyed watching him. Goran did pretty good on grass court. The Australian Patrick Rafter was pretty good on grass. Trying to think of who else. I mean, Bjorn Borg, obviously. Yeah. One of my all-time favorites was Edberg and Becker. I love watching them on grass court.
The top two favorite were mine, because a lot of their head-to-head battles. So I know a lot of us, have gotten into head-to-head with the big three or the big four, if you can still consider Murray in that equation. Or what if you still think that Wawrinka and Del Potro were in that equation? So you could say big, 5, 6, whatever. But But head to head for us when we were kids wasn't, Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic, Nadal, whatever. It was these players facing off against one another, namely Stefan Edberg and Boris Becker. Really a heartbreaking thing to think about, regardless of the offense, especially because it involved it involved money that, Becker's behind bars. And I hate that, again, I can empathize. I really mean that. I can sympathize, and I won't get into that. But anyway, he's a great champion, especially on the grass, one of my all-time favorites.
He was. It was great watching him, launch at the volleys and land on the grass.
Yeah.
Pretty elegant,
Can you name the tennis racket that he played with at that point in time? I'll give you a hint. It had a Puma on the front. Actually, it was slightly different, but it was like a Puma on the front, and it had a red top and then like a navy throat. You remember? Do you remember the racket? No. It wasn't the Niesel like behind me. Do you remember? Slazenger. Let's go. Did you say that? Did you come up with that, or did they guess it?
No, I came up.
Yeah, I see Drip Tennis is in the house. I see William Spencer. He is now a major champion. I see Trouble Mine. I see LS Fire. Long time no. Well, I think he was.
No, he's on there.
What's up, LS Fire? Furzy 09 OG from the #1 beginning stages. A couple more. I'm going to add to my favorite grass players of all time. I'm going to add Rod Laver. I'm going to add Bill Tilden.
But I never watched these guys, so I mean.
Well, me neither. Let me tell you why.
You're just saying it because
of my dad. Because of my dad.
But I'm talking about what I remember as a kid watching.
And Guillermo Vilas.
Yeah, but again, I didn't watch them, so I can't say that. It's people that I watch. I mean, I remember Michael Steve won one. Didn't he win a Wimbledon?
Philippoussis was a fine player.
He was okay.
Yeah, on grass.
He was all right. Stefan was okay. He was not great on grass court. I'm trying to think of the other players. Agassi shocked us all by winning a Wimbledon. We thought it was impossible for a baseliner, and that's when Wimbledon started changing a bit, and a baseliner finally won Wimbledon. But my all-time favorite, I would have to say, male on grass is definitely Sampras. #1. I would watch it because of him, just to watch him hold up the trophy. That's what I remember as a kid. Sampras, it would bring a smile to my face, and I always cheer for Steffi Graf. She would be my all-time favorite for the women.
Speaking of Pete Sampras, today I came across on eBay a pair of Sampras's Nike tennis shoes, which they were called Nike Air Oscillate, and I wear a size 9.5. Generally, I can wear a 10, but a pair of his Nike Air Oscillate from around the time frame he won his last U.S. Open were going for $599 new. Anyway, I'm a sneakerhead, sorry, but anyway, it was kind of nice to see that. A couple more grass court players before we shift gears. Petra Kvitova and Sabine Lisicki. Sabine
Lisicki got lucky to make a final, just like Bartoli did.
And again, on grass, I don't care to see two hands on the racket, and both of these young ladies have a two-handed backhand. But they're both, for me, some of my favorite players to watch on grass.
Well, I'm trying to think of other players that had a net game. Usually, I remember when Zina Garrison played against Martina Navratilova. I always enjoyed watching Martina Navratilova play. Never cared much for Chris Evert, watching her play. I thought watching Celis on grass was pretty odd to me. It was just weird. Trying to think of other players that were really good. Capriati was okay on grass. I can't really think of.
You mentioned Andy Roddick. I've heard in many different tech settings that, to some coaches especially, that one of the best grass court players of all time, in their opinion, right? And some of these gentlemen have been around the game for a long time, is Andy Roddick. You mentioned that.
Well, he had a great serve, and I figure on grass you have to have a great serve. It has to be a weapon, which is why I think Venus won so many. And as well as Serena, you have to have a very good serve. A great slice, like Ryan Mason just mentioned. He said, I always thought Federer was best on grass. His slice was so clean on grass. I feel like you have to have a great slice, great variety. I felt like if Barty kept playing, she would have had quite a few Wimbledons. It suits her game. Wimbledon is really about technique. It's who has the best technique. Except Bartoli. That was just an interesting year. That was just the Siki choking. I feel like those that won Wimbledon had great techniques if they won more than one. Right? Mm-hmm. The technique was Like, I feel like on clay, you can get away with the ugly strokes, hitting from the back, looping the shot a lot. But I feel like Wimbledon, well, back in the days, it was more about volleys, right? Serving volleys. But now it's more, you have to have the variety, the slice, the drop shot, learning how to, strategize. I feel that is who your champion is. And that's why we see a lot of players that we never hear about in the other slams all of a sudden win tournaments that you've never heard of. They come out of nowhere. Who's that guy? Muller?
Gilles Muller.
He always did well. Why? Because he was very technique-wise. He knew how to play the game. Who was it? Pirinkova was another one that played really well.
And don't forget about Angelique Radwanska. Radwanska wasn't a big
she
player
had
at all,
the
but
touch.
she was able to.
So it suited her game. And you only get to see, back in the days, it was like 2 months. Now it's 1 month.
Yeah.
So back in the days, we used to see 2 months of grass. Now we only get to see 1 month, which tells me it's dying.
Yeah, one of my first coaches, well, he was my second coach. My first coach was Norm Pollock and my father, and my second coach was Brad Humphreys, if I remember correctly. Dad, let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Southern California, late 70s, early 80s, right? Mm-hmm. There was a lot more grass court discussion, a lot more grass court prevalence, a lot more grass courts around the United States then. And the discussion would come up amongst, especially around the clubs we were part of as a kid, is why do some players do better on grass than on other surfaces? We know, yes, a given is the surface. We know clay slows it down a little bit, blah, 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 blah. We understand that. That's the 101 part. The debatable or not debatable aspect of that is time to make a decision. What do I mean by this? Okay, let's say we're on clay, Carla, and you and I are playing a baseline to baseline rally. Okay, you hit me a ball, short ball, maybe 3/4 court. I've got a little bit of time to get there and think, and I can tell myself, okay, I see her feet. They're pointing this way. I see she's on the run going that way. Do I want to drop the drop shot over here? Do I want to move her forward and give her a ball to hit and just set up my lob? What do I want to do? I have time to think. On the grass, though, the ball stays lower. It doesn't really bounce up as high, so it kind of is slippery on the ball. So it's a lower trajectory, so you don't have that much time to think. Now, Carla, what is one of the number one reasons why we make unforced errors? We make unforced errors, namely because, I get it if it's a great shot by your opponent, but we call that a forced error, right? Sometimes unforced errors are generated by the indecisiveness of the player trying to figure out the shot to hit right when the ball is at their point of impact, right when I'm striking the ball. If it's out front and I see my opponent, oh no, do I want to hit topspin? Do I want to slice? Do I want to lob? And we make impact and we're like, oh shit, I was thinking and then I was late and I missed the ball. The best players on grass, namely, let's say Federer and Djokovic and even Nadal and all of the ones we listed here just a moment ago, most of those players are able to make split-second decisions on point, on time, on the grass, so they're able to think more quickly and more clearly than their peers given the surface. Why do we see different players pop up and win Roland Garros or the French Open all the time? Because everyone has a little bit more time to
think.
On
the women's side. We know that one guy dominates on the men's side. We don't see different players.
Well, yes, you understand what I'm saying, though. I mean, you don't always see the same guy every year playing Nadal in the final. You got Djokovic.
It wasn't the same guy. It's a different guy.
It's a different guy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
besides Nadal,
as far as Halep was lucky to win that Wimbledon. Serena was definitely choked. She should have beat her in the finals. Just saying. Yeah.
So if you could give me a list, your top 5 list in comments. What's up, Gene Swart? If you in comments can come up with a list of your top 5 in no particular order, or you can put them in order, of the top 5 reasons why some players are better on grass than others, what would it be? Some players are better hitting flat. Some players are better at defending against topspin.
I think in grass you need more of finesse. You definitely can't hit flat. Someone like Medvedev struggles a lot more.
Direct tennis. What's up?
You need the variety. You need the slice. You need the touch. And if you don't have that, you're messing up that notebook, by the way.
That's okay.
If you don't have that, it's tough for you to win. So someone like Sabalenka who screams and just hits hard is not. She might have made a final, but let's be real. Alexandrova, come on, that's laughable.
Alexandrova bageled her in the second.
That's laughable. I could have bageled her. Just saying. Give her like.
Woo!
Give her 4.
Okay, Sean, 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. Let's go.
Give her 4 balls to hit, and she'll miss one eventually. I think you need variety. I don't think you need loopy shots, but I think you need more of finesse shot, slice strategy, come to the net, serve and place well. You know?
Agree. Totally agree.
Stop making noise, Gabby.
Also, too, some of the best some of the best grass court players also have shoe sponsorships. Now, where am I going with this? Some players can't afford to have the special made shoes for grass with the little knobby soles. It's kind of like cleats or spiked shoes. Believe it or not, the quality of someone's shoe soles on grass prevents them from slipping and falling. Who was it that slipped last year or the year before playing Federer? Manarino? Didn't Manarino have? Hey Gary, can you chill a little bit? Wasn't it Adrian Manarino that slipped and hurt his knee playing Federer? And I think he was even doing well against them.
Serena did too.
Serena, yes, and then she had to retire. So some of the players that can afford or have sponsors give them those big time shoes that are custom made for the grass. I'm just saying it's important. It's beneficial to have them.
I think I would do well on grass, Justin.
Yeah.
I think I could do well on grass just because I know how to slice touch. Even though I never really played on actual grass, they did some grass tournament, but it wasn't actual grass. I think that I would actually play really, really well on grass because I can slice, I can tuck, I can have finesse, I can volley, I know how to place my serve. I think I would do much better on grass than on clay. Just saying.
A tricky service.
Even though I can hit the top spin, but I don't have the patience for 20 balls.
Yeah.
That to me is boring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I don't like that type of game.
It's a little bit quicker because of the aforementioned. By the way, when Wimbledon begins, do not forget that no one won the $500 cash for our finals predictions and winners predictions. Mike Walker did win $100. I just sent it to you.
Yeah, he sent me a message.
Mike Walker, I said
he said I went to buy lunch. Who the hell spends $100 on lunch? In New York.
In New York City, though.
In New York. Raducanu has another injury, I know.
We're going to talk about that. Who said that?
Yeah.
Gene Swart. We have a topic about Raducanu. We have a whole topic about
My favorite is the U.S. Open. I can't believe it's at 7%. But then again, I'm from New York, and I trained there. So for me, the last Grand Slam, the toughest Grand Slam to me is the granddaddy of all. Because you are tired. It's the last one. Everyone's after you. All the underdogs think they can win it. And for me, that's the granddaddy. Plus, it's in the United States of America. Plus, you got all the celebrities. And it's just big. And people are loud. It's exciting. I mean, it's hardcore. You get to see all the different personalities. You don't have to wear white and be all freaking proper. You don't get nasty on the clay with all the dirt. And you don't have to deal with the Australians who are sometimes dummies for not letting Djokovic in. Just saying.
Good point.
The U.S. Open is number one for me. Definitely. Not only that, because my kids are in the military academy and it represents everything America should be about. So that's why U.S. Open is number one to me. Just saying.
You know, did anyone catch? Did anyone catch the Djokovic teaser she threw in there? Mm-hmm. Usually, she gives Novak Djokovic a tough time, but Carla, on the other hand, just thrashed the Australians for giving Novak Djokovic a hard time. That means she really does have respect for Djokovic.
Well, what I'm saying is, you got a guy that won it so many times. He is basically Mr. Australian Open, and you're gonna tell him he can't play? You're fucking idiots.
You just dropped an F-bomb.
They're idiots.
That's fair enough.
Come on.
That's good.
It's like telling Serena you can't play the U.S. Open, girl.
That's good. You should. That's your deal. Yeah, that's cool. I like the energy. I like the freedom. Matter of fact, give me a fist pump. Let's go, Carla.
I'm just saying.
Let's go.
It's like telling Federer you can't play Wimbledon because you didn't get vaccinated, dude. Come on.
You know, that should be a poll question. You don't have to type it. It'd be too long. Let's put ones in the chat for the first option and B's in the chat for the other option. Okay, here we go.
ATP Tour does not matter.
if Roger Federer came out of retirement or injury hiatus, LOL, tomorrow, and told the entire world that he was going to play Wimbledon, okay? Ultimately, if he declared that and he was A, either from Belarus or Russia, or B, did not have his COVID vaccination, would they make an exemption and let him play? So think of the hypothetical question.
They would have. Of course they would.
Of
course they would.
But do you understand the question?
This is where the Australians fail completely.
You understand the question now. So pretend you're Roger Federer and you just told me or the world that you're going to play Wimbledon, even though you haven't played since last year's Wimbledon. Roger Federer's last match was last year in the quarterfinals or round of 16, and Hurkacz from Poland beat Roger Federer, right? And Roger hasn't played, I don't think, since. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. With that said, if Roger Federer told the world tomorrow, hey, I'm going to play Wimbledon, and A, he either did not have his COVID vaccination, or B, or at least chose to keep it private, or B, was from Russia or Belarus, given who he is, would there have an exemption or some type of addendum to the rule book? Would the rules have changed in the situation? I do think you have to think about that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but don't forget.
I just have Australian Open. To me, they got no backbone. They shows to me that they're not loyal.
What about Wimbledon too?
Wimbledon too. That's why it's not my favorite. Screw the white and being all proper and bowing down to the Queen of England. Get real. I mean, come on. No one should bow down to anyone.
Now think about this.
Prince. Get real.
The first topic was what major do you think is the granddaddy or grandmama tournament of all the majors? And it's been Wimbledon for so long, and it has been to me since I've been a child. Again, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and I grew up watching Wimbledon, literally.
The reason why
but it's changed.
The reason why it's higher is because most of our viewers are European. If they were American, they would be voting U.S. Open. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Now, Wimbledon also was the first major outside of the U.S. Open, which already had a tiebreaker in the fifth set. The U.S. Open has had a tiebreaker in the fifth set for a long time. Okay, not since like the beginning, but they've had a tiebreaker in the fifth. Wimbledon changed their tiebreaker in the fifth set to having one from non-having one, as we all know, after Nicolas Mahut and John Isner went 60-58 in the fifth after playing for 2 days, whatever. That changed. Well, I don't think it changed that initial year, but I think Kevin Anderson and Mahut went back to battle the next year or 2 years later, and it went really deep in the fifth again. So they were like, whoa, let's change it here. But Wimbledon has gone from being the granddaddy of them all to kicking out Russians and Belarusians because of a war that these players have nothing to do with. Changed the tiebreaker in the fifth in a drop of a hat because of three players: Mahut, Isner, Anderson, and I think that's about it, right? And so anyway, so here we are, and Wimbledon is knocking on the door, and the ATP and WTA have pulled their ranking points out. So in other words, the big three or the big two or whatever last year who made the final. Last year, Matteo Berrettini played Djokovic in the final. Is that correct? So if Berrettini is tired and he wants to take time off, didn't he just make a final today against?
He won.
He beat Andy Murray.
He won today.
Good for him. But Berrettini, if he just wants some money. He's surely top 10 in the world, so he's good. Because there's no points at Wimbledon, why not just take it off? Do you think he's a favorite to win it? I don't think. I think the favorite right now to win Wimbledon, and you can all hate me and unsubscribe and tell me this, kick rocks and suck at an old tin can with a bloody edge. But the favorite to win Wimbledon right now is Novak Djokovic. And if you think I'm crazy, then whatever. I love you anyway. We'll agree to disagree. Different strokes for different folks. But right now, Novak Djokovic, I can guarantee you, will be the champion. And if you don't think I'm correct, then I'll put your money where your mouth is, and I'll take the the first bet.
We're not making bets.
Take the first bet.
Guys, we're not making bets because it's my money too. We're not making bets.
Okay, good point.
Sorry, but we're not making bets.
Okay, well, I don't even have, yeah, okay. Well, let me put it this way. I'll take one bet. I'll deal with her. Put me on the dog bag later.
Cut your hair. Take that bet.
Well, why do you want to take my hair for?
I'm just saying, though. You want to bet money, but bet your hair.
I don't want to cut my hair.
And then don't make any bets.
I look like a Q-tip.
We don't gamble here, so stop making bets.
I'm a human Q-tip with no hair.
Exactly. He keeps losing money.
No.
Really?
The only bet I've lost this year.
$100. I won the 100. I won the 100 from Michael Walker, and I gave it back to him. Because of your dumbass.
That's the only bet.
Because of your dumbass.
That's the only bet I lost all year. And do you remember what the bet was? Mind you.
I won it from him, and this dumbass loses it.
Do you remember what?
I'm a winner, not a loser. Just saying.
Look.
I win, not lose.
Look.
Not lose, right, Ryan? I win, not lose.
Okay, hold. That's the only bet I've lost all year. We've done probably.
That's the only bet I paid.
Can I finish?
I paid people $25 for your stupid bet.
I've only lost one bet this entire year, and I've only lost like 3 bets the entire 3 years we've done the show.
And I've lost no bets this entire year.
Whoa! Your bets are either cut and dry, night and day, whatever.
Smart.
No, my bet was
I'm smart.
Can I finish? I bet that. Carlos Alcaraz would not make it past the first week or into the second week, and he lost in the quarterfinals. So I almost had that. Just saying, it was this close. It was this close.
Mike Walker's like, you are Serena, Justin is Maria. Thank you.
Why do I always got to hear this shit?
I bet smart. And Mike Walker, you and I have a bet. That Raducanu bet to me is looking really good, bro. Really good.
Yeah, and don't forget, back to we can finish the first page, and I got like 12 more pages to go.
Novak is
we haven't even got past the first page.
That's for life, you're right. I mean, I can't fight with Justin about that one. Novak is the one to beat. Absolutely, he's the one to beat. I wouldn't even choose Nadal on this one. Novak is the one to beat. Yeah. If he loses, it's because of himself.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'll take 1.5, not 2 to 1. I'll take 1.5 to 1 odds that Djokovic wins Wimbledon, and I'll take 1.5 to 1. That means if you want to put up $100, I'll put up 150 if I lose, and vice versa for you. Okay. Let me finish page 1.
I'm sure everyone's.
I hadn't even started the first topic yet, and we're 30 minutes in. Carla always says, "Well, I don't want to go over an hour. I don't want to go over an hour."
Actually,
I'm not even over the first page.
Kensu, I did with Michael Walker.
Kensu.
Kensu.
He's not a ninja. That's not a ninja. He's talking about Kensu.
Kes-sun.
That's Kashan. K-Sun. K-Sun.
Thank you.
Let's go, K-Sun.
I actually bet Michael Walker that in 5 years, probably never the rest of her life, she won't win a slam.
That's a good bet.
And I know I'm going to win it. Just
That's a good bet.
K-Sun.
Okay, let me get past the first page. Do not forget, for Wimbledon, $600 cash U.S. paid out immediately for anyone that can predict the men's finalists, the women's finalists, and both winners. No one won it for the French Open, so that $100 already piled on to a pot of 5 has been moved over. And don't forget that 2 fantasy team winners always win and add to their trophy collection of major winners. We have quite a few major winners. The greatest of all time on our channel, your channel, is Casper, aka Dedsville. He's a Polish tennis player, by the way. He's a really good tennis player from Poland. He's won sets of strings, but he's won 4 majors. 4 majors doing fantasy. William Spitzer is on the board with 1. Kahn out there is on the board with 1. Anyway, I won't waste your time with that. And don't forget, Gene Swart out there and Thomas Shee keep up with all the scoring and are tracking. So great job to all of them. But 2 people will win $50. So we're giving out $100 no matter what for fantasy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the likes, and we're moving forward. All right. We talked about Russians not playing at Wimbledon because of where they're from. We saw Daniil Medvedev today play a 25-year-old Van Ludwig Beethoven. I'm just kidding. But we saw this young Danish player who I'd never seen. And by the way, when I first saw this name of him playing matches earlier in this tournament, and was it Stuttgart? What was it?
I don't even know.
I had never heard the name. I admit totally. I was watching this. The first time I saw this kid's name, he's not a kid. He's 25. I saw it written on the screen. I think I got up in the morning and just turned on the tennis channel. I was taking a shower and all that stuff. And I saw Van Richthofen or something. And I told myself, I was like, man, we got a Beethoven, you know, and I just kept walking by. I didn't even pay any attention. And then this gentleman won the tournament, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of interesting, right? Anyway, we saw Daniil Medvedev playing this grass tournament, but he can't play Wimbledon. So I wrote this down. Carla, you woke me up this morning, or I woke you up. But the first thing,
I was up.
But the first thing Carla said to me was, I wondered why Medvedev is playing this grass court warm-up tournament, but can't play Wimbledon. You remember telling me this? Mm-hmm. You want to discuss what you were thinking?
I just thought it was kind of stupid for him to play in grass, but maybe he wants to add points. I don't know, but he lost miserably, so he looked stupid.
He didn't lose miserably.
What was the score?
I don't know what the score was.
What was the score, guys?
It wasn't miserably. I think.
What was the score, guys?
I think it's psychologically miserably because the number 2 player in the world
Well,
number
Felix lost
1.
it. What was the score, guys? You guys, I'm not even gonna look it up.
It was a straight setter. But what I'm saying, do you think miserably is just because he lost it because of who he was?
6-4, 6-1. That's miserable for a number 1, number 2 player.
Is it more miserable because he lost to what would otherwise have been a qualifier? Now, the gentleman Van Richthofen was given a wild card into this tournament, which is a 250.
Someone said 7-5, 6-1. Which one? It doesn't matter. You got 6-4, 6-2.
Which
Which score is it?
Now, what's more miserable, the score or who he lost to? It would be different if it was like Djokovic or
He's trying to win points,
or even Zverev or TM or whatever. No, I don't think it was because he wanted to win points. I think it was because he wanted to shoot the middle finger at at Wimbledon for telling him he can't come play. I think Medvedev got to the final as a way to say, you know what, screw you. You don't let me play because where I'm from. Well, I'm going to show up in your backyard and I'm going to play anyway at this little tournament. Otherwise, if the situation wasn't that, I don't think Medvedev played that tournament in the first place. I think Medvedev.
Well, how many points is he away from Djokovic? Let's find out.
I think he's number 1 now, isn't he? Isn't Medvedev number 1? Is that correct?
I don't know.
I might be wrong, but I think so.
Djokovic is number 1 with 8,770 points. Medvedev is 8,160 points. So if he gained 170 points, he keeps getting closer. And there's no points at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Think about it, though.
I can't believe Tsitsipas lost to Murray, by the way.
Tsitsipas is a sissy boy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the whole Patrick Morazzo, Jack in the Box, pretty boy looking self-prodigy. By the way, when Wimbledon comes up, here's a question. When Wimbledon begins, who do you think will get more camera coverage? Simona Halep or Patrick Morazzo?
Oh, definitely Patrick. You know, any coach with an accent. I was watching a video today. I won't name the coach, and Jonathan Justin said, "Oh, he's not doing bad." You know, all these coaches with the accents, American players are fucking idiots. Just saying. You guys are idiots. You students are idiots. They're teaching you the same thing that you can learn on YouTube. Just saying. I was watching this thing that kids spend a lot of money to go to the summer camp. It was almost laughable. I went to Nick Bolletier's camp, and they didn't do that with me. They actually broke down strokes. Just saying.
It's just a glorified theatrical.
It's just a, oh, good, very good. You hit the shot. Good. Did you see the ball was way out? Because that's the first thing I looked at.
Yeah.
The ball was way out, and you lifted on the shot.
Yeah.
But someone like Patrick Morazzo would say, "That was very good. You did that so good. Oh my God, you got under the ball." American students are idiots, and the parents are idiots.
Yeah.
Just saying. And I'm Spanish, and I'm freaking telling you this.
What Carl is getting at is a lot of times parents and young kids, especially the silver spoons, that
they're silver spoons.
They get in front of a tennis coach, even though the tennis coach is doing the same thing a ball machine could do, but even probably worse.
They put a ball in front of you. Oh, that's very good. That's excellent.
That's good,
you see how you do?
I'm
like, shut up.
It's like that's just someone looking at themselves in the mirror and watching themselves, even though it's nothing different than you could watch on YouTube. I get it. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to get into that here, but we just watched the video earlier.
Someone said, went to Bollettieri for a week, a long time ago. Bollettieri sees you on the last day and watches you hit a few strokes and says, good job. Bollettieri was there. I didn't pay attention to him. I pay attention to the coaches, and they actually broke down everything. But a lot of these kids go to these summer camps.
They get brainwashed by it.
They get brainwashed, and their parents are idiots. They got money, so they don't know, and they pay thousands and thousands of dollars. Idiots.
Yeah.
When they could have done that with a recreational coach.
Yeah. We have.
I watched the video today, and I'm sorry.
And one of them was a student that proclaimed she proclaims she doesn't use us for coaching.
I watched her hit a shot, and I said, did the coach watch how flat her shot was and how she lifted her leg? No.
Yeah, he was
just all about the camera, and this is what I'm talking about. We wonder why American tennis sucks. It's because you guys get sucked by these accents and think that they're teaching you, but you're actually learning shit. And all these students with this freaking ass, loopy ass. You know, my husband is realistic. He tells us about a daughter, 13. She's not going to be a pro. It's too late for her. I mean, he's right. I'm not looking at that. I'm realistic. And then I hear some parents say, "Oh, my kid's still going to play tennis." Well, I'm like, your kid's like almost graduating. Give it up.
Look,
give it up. Practice getting your ACT up.
There are exceptions to the rule, but historically and for the most part, right on. If your kid is 16, 17 years old, and
they can't win a level 7 or a level 6,
and they're still double faulting 25 times a set.
Yeah.
Don't please.
There's a lot of kids.
There's no sense in going to Florida, listening to somebody look at himself. Like, he's not even teaching you anything. He's just making a fashion show.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of kids that I know in Alabama.
But the same students say that they listen to other people for coaching and us just to hit. That's okay.
No. I'm not even talking about that student. I'm just talking about a lot of kids that I know in Alabama
we hear it all the time.
That play tennis and their parents think that. I'm sorry, but if your kid is going, if they're a junior and they can't win a freaking tournament, I won many tournaments.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it that high in pros. I won many tournaments. There's no way that kid's gonna make it.
Yeah.
No way. Just saying.
And what we're getting at is if you're 16, 17 and you still have no discipline and you still have no workout regimen, or maybe you have a workout regimen, but you still don't have the way to open up your mind and not be so stuck in study, right? There's no way. There's no way you're going to go. There's no way.
I won level 1 tournaments in New York. And you know tennis up north is much tougher than tournaments down south.
Yeah.
I kicked ass. And some of these kids, rich kids, spoiled kids, they go to these private schools, they play these tournaments. If you can't win the tournament, don't tell me you're going to be a Division I player. No freaking way.
Yeah, I just played at Alabama level 5.
No way.
And I got to the quarterfinals.
If a 42-year-old woman can kick your butt 6-0.
Yeah, that's what I say.
6-0, and I'm overweight, and I don't hit balls every day just with you. And if I could beat you and you can't beat me, that's a problem.
So what you're saying is that
that's a freaking problem.
Yeah.
If I can bagel you and toy around with you.
Yeah, be careful. Proof is in the pudding. You got to back that shit up.
This is why American tennis sucks.
You got to back that shit up. I remember playing someone the other day, and I got 1.5.
Yes, I was a top player in my state. Yep.
Yeah, for
definitely.
Sure. No doubt about that.
Just saying. I laugh at some of these parents. They're like, my kid, you can't beat me as almost 43. 43, okay? And I'm carrying like extra 20 pounds. Let's be real. I played in Florida too, by the way, Christian. I played in Florida as well. Okay, and high school tennis there was not a joke.
When I met Carla, she lived in Florida. When I met Carla, she lived in Florida.
Yes.
Matter of fact,
I went to Coral Springs. I went to where they had the show Stoneman Douglas High School.
IMG.
And I played in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. I played in West Palm Beach. I played in Miami. I played everywhere.
Yeah, I met Carla. She was still a resident of Florida. So anyway, she was doing her coaching certificate. I had it, and she met me in Panama City. Mm-hmm. She met me halfway in Panama City, and I came from Alabama. Yeah. Let's go, man. The world gets smaller.
Tennis sucks in the U.S.
Let's go. Not that anyone particularly cares. I know we've kind of written Federer off, but let's remember.
Federer should retire.
Let's just remember for a moment.
I still am. Still am.
So look, Roger Federer states that Roger Federer states that he is definitely returning in 2023. So not this year, but next year. He'll play the majors, maybe the French Open, maybe so, maybe not. And we'll just have a more abbreviated schedule. However, he says this year he will play the Labor Cup, which, as you know, that's his tournament that he put together with his management group. He will play that, and as well his home tournament in Basel, there in Switzerland. Now, last time Roger Federer played competitively was last year and lost to Philip Hurkacz in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon last year. Okay, now I wanted to talk about the Labor Cup for a second, just for a moment.
Oh,
okay.
My God.
Now, the Labor Cup to me is equally as cheesy as the whole idea of having the next gen thing. So if you remember not terribly long ago, the big 3 or big 4 or big 6, if you include, Delpo and Wawrinka, were so dominant that you would never even see a different semifinal, for crying out loud. It wasn't even the final 8. It was like the final 2 of not 6, Delpo, Wawrinka, and the other 4. Anyway, it got so monotonous. It got so redundant that they came out with next gen. And we had, Zverev and TM and all these other little suckers running around. And then they got so old, they came out with the next gen with like Felix Auger and Yannick Sinner. And here we are to now, okay? The Laver Cup, in my opinion, is more cheesy or on the same level of cheesiness than that, okay? All about a silver spoon-fed, spoil people, and tickets prices being so high to get in, only the rich can go watch. And then when you go watch, just a bunch of buffoons hanging out in their box, chugging beer, Kyrgios, and all these other little pansies that are sitting around there getting paid millions of dollars for the extremely overpriced tickets just to go there. Now, the Laver Cup is going to be held at the O2 Arena in London. And also, I'm going to give a shout out to my dad here, who is again 84 years young, retired Navy captain, was a fighter attack aircraft pilot, and retired into private practice, emergency trauma medicine, family medicine, and so forth, and pathology as well. Okay, we were raised on get your fucking ass in gear, get your ass to work, be humble, be kind. If not, I'm gonna be in your fucking face, and you better keep fucking working, because even then you ain't gonna get it out of boy. Keep your ass working, because if you don't, someone else will. Okay, I talked about for 3 years, right here, how cheesy the next generation bullshit is, and how cheesy the damn Laver Cup is. It's rich people getting richer, it's the poor getting poorer, and it's the ticket prices saying if you can't afford it, then get out. Okay, so here's a message, by the way, from earlier about I didn't come up with this. This is from my dad. Him saying his thoughts on the Laver Cup. And it was so odd because it was like 5 o'clock this morning when I read this, and I had just gotten up. So he texted me at like 0450. That's 4:50 in the morning. I had just gotten up, and I get this text message. It was like 3 pages long, so I just took out the nuggets of it, and it had to do with the cheese cup. The Laver cheesy ass bullshit, goat cheese, bogus Sissipas playing, donut looking with pink glazed icing on it, stupid ass tournament. Damn, the logo for the Laver Cup should be Rublev looking like a cat. Have you ever seen the picture of Rublev looking like a damn cat with a bandana on? That should be the Laver Cup t-shirt. Okay, here you go. This is for all the fans that want a ticket. Fans can purchase their Laver Cup tickets from Ticket Smarter, with current prices ranging from a minimum of $387 per ticket to $3,176 per ticket. Now that's euros, so that's even more in US dollars. So for $387 a piece, one seat, you can get the cheapest tickets. For $3,176, you can get the most expensive tickets. And I'm sure there's more in box seats and whatever that aren't good for anybody that has a helicopter to get there, or a private jet to land on the roof. Whatever. So cheesy and stupid. It's what's wrong with this world today. People starving, but you're going to spend $3,000 to watch a bunch of little fairy boys pat each other on the ass and cry on each other's shoulder like Zverev and Federer did when they were on that South American tour, stupid shit. God. Okay, the average price for a seat at the Laver Cup, if you do the math, is $976.40. Fans are looking forward to the Laver Cup, though. Woo! Ric Flair, let's go! Woo! Woo-hoo! I can afford a ticket, so I'm going to like it. If not, let's... Okay. The Laver Cup Session 1 begins on Friday, 23 September 2022. Okay? Note, this is a footnote. Here's a footnote. Apart from the participation of well-known players, the level...
$65 for US Open tickets.
That's another good knowledge drop right there. It's $376 at minimum to go walk in the O2 for an insignificant match that has zero bearing on history or anything for that matter. But it costs $3,000 to go see a fairy boy Roger and sissy boy Sissy and Zverev boy with fairy dust and all this bullshit. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, back to this another nugget from this message. Note. Apart from the participation of well-known players, the level of interest in this upcoming tournament is puzzling. Really, who could care much about it?
No one.
Now, let me finish because I'm not done with the segment. In short, the upcoming Laver Cup, in my humble opinion, is a nice bit of fluff and ballyhoo. Bolly freaking hoo. Okay? And hey, there's nothing wrong with a little fluff and ballyhoo. And for Nadal, or for anyone for that matter, to win the same major title 14 times is a matter for celebration, but yet maybe a cause for a little bit of reflection and concern. Why in the hell, number one, would it be concerned? Because Rafael Nadal won the same French Open 14 times. The concern is where the hell is the rest of the world? Where the hell is the rest of the world? You telling me Nadal's like Darth Vader or a Jedi Knight? Is anyone else working? Is what he's saying? Is anyone else working? Now, why $3,000 a fucking ticket for this fucking labor cheesy in my ass cup and only 68 for the U.S. Open? It's because the world today is fucked up. You got bullshit tournaments selling for $3,000 a ticket, and you got ones that mean something for giving it away. Giving it away. And we sit and lap it up. Lap it up. Bunch of freaking lazy people, man.
I agree with Zest for life. Team should call him day and enjoy his U.S. Open title.
TM who?
He should thank. He owes a lot to Djokovic for him.
The throat hat?
Yeah, he owes a lot to him.
Look.
He would have never, in my opinion, I believe it wholeheartedly, that he would not have won that slam had Djokovic had not been disqualified.
Do you know what should be written on Dominic TM's tombstone? Djokovic, thank you so much for the throat ball that you whacked in that lady's throat, even though, in parentheses, she should have been able to duck that shit. Dominic TM owes his U.S. Open to that lady not being able to duck that she should have ducked that shit. She couldn't duck it. That's why they should have tryouts. Have tryouts, and she would have ducked that.
With your hair?
Yeah. Let's go. All right. Next thing. Carla sent me a message today about Emma Raducanu.
Courtside opening round, 450. That's not bad. I mean, to be that close, it's not bad.
Hey, for that much, you can get the nosebleed section at the O2. Okay, Carla sent me a message earlier, and it had to do with Raducanu, Emma Raducanu. I forgot who that was.
Yeah, that's true, Michael Walker. I'd take the one slam and never have won one. Agree. I mean, there's a lot of one slam. Sabatini, I felt like could have won so many more. And she has one. You've got Bartoli with one. You've got Eva Maioli with one who beat Hingis. You got who was the other Russian player that beat Dementieva? What was it? Misha? Well, I forgot her name. What was her name? Maleva? No, it's not Maleva. No, she beat Dementieva. She won one. Meskina, yeah. Meskina has one as well. Novotna has one. Goran has one. Michael Steek has one. Andy Roddick has one. Who else has one? Who can we think of that has just one?
Just at Wimbledon?
Just one Grand Slam.
Or just one in general?
Just one Grand Slam. Wozniacki.
Anna Ivanovic.
Wozniacki has one.
One and done, yeah. Andy Roddick only won one.
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay.
Raducanu's going to stay at one. Kennan's going to stay at one, and so is Sloane Stephens going to stay at one. Del Potro's going to stay at one. Obviously, he retired. It's a good one.
You know,
so there's a lot of people. So it's better to have one because with the one comes all the sponsorship.
Well, Raducanu won one, and now she's like who and done. Look, Raducanu in the past, January, February, March, April, May, June. In January, she had blisters on the finger on her fingers at the U.S. Open. She retired in Guadalajara. Yeah, she retired in Guadalajara with a leg problem. She suffered.
Ferrero never won one, by the way.
She suffered a stiff back at Indian Wells.
Ferrero. Yeah.
She had a blister on the foot during the Billie Jean Cup. Billie Jean King Cup. She withdrew with back pain during the Italian Open, and she retired with a side strain recently in the Nottingham Open. Now, this is the same person that the UK has been proclaiming is the next best thing since Hinman Hill. Since last year or the year before when she had an anxiety attack there in the round of 16 or the third round or fourth round, whatever. So Raducanu is one of many Raducanu is one of many British players playing in the upcoming Wimbledon. Now, I just jotted down a couple that I didn't even look any up, but let's name a couple. Andy Murray, obviously. Okay. Emma Raducanu, I don't even know who. Forgot who that was. I think I have a better idea who who is than Raducanu at this point. Anyway, Johanna Konta, Johanna Konta is pronounced here, but I think people say Johanna. Cam Norrie, okay, and many others. But let's ask ourselves this question. Okay, this is the Raducanu who is that? Is the same girl that was lauded after the U.S. Open for winning, the same girl that Carla and I gave grief to about winning it, the same person that we lost like 80 subscribers to because I went on a rant after that about it, about how she didn't even deserve that title, and now she's at the Met Gala and lost even more. Who gives a shit? Don't do this for a living, so whatever. Anyway, who does better at this year's Wimbledon? Is it Andy Murray? Is it Raducanu? Or is it someone like Cam Norrie that no one talks about? Or is it someone like Johanna Konta on the women's side that no one talks about? Let's ask ourselves this question. If you had to bet your life on it right now, who would you bet more money on to do better at Wimbledon? Even if they lost in the same round, who won more games?
Murray.
What about just on the women's side? Would it be Raducanu if she even plays? Or everybody else? British only.
Oh.
British only.
Konta's retired, Justin. She's having a baby.
I'm just saying, whatever. Any British player, pick one.
You would have to pick Raducanu. All of them
no.
Heather Watson sucks.
I was going to say Heather Watson.
She sucks.
She could do just as good as her.
Sucks.
She could do good just as good as her.
No, you would have to pick Raducanu. You would have to pick somebody else.
I would rather take. Personally, I would rather not even know the list of qualifiers, the list of young ladies going through qualies, or the list of wild cards going to be given to other junior or young adult British players.
Someone said Harriet Dart, anyone?
There you go. That's another good one. Let's go, Drent tennis. Yeah, exactly. I would rather.
SC tennis, that's how Cressy will do Wimbledon.
Certain volley. That's he's a good player. Robert Frush likes Cressy a lot. Oh, wait a minute. SD tennis is Robert Frush.
His name.
it depends. Look, Robert, it depends on Cressy's serve percentage hitting his spots. In order to thrive well serving volley, you need to hit the appropriate spots for your serve, and those spots being to the weakest shots of your opponent. So that way you get the push ball back, a deflection instead of a stroke, and you can come in and volley out of weight. So he doesn't just have to hit one spot. He has to be able to hit whatever spot it is that will deliver the serve into whatever shot that will give that returned ball a little bit more of less power, less location. In other words, just kind of a deflection and hope. Why did Nadal end up dominating Roger Federer? Because he was able to serve the ball into the ad-induced court with ample spin to get that ball up high to Roger Federer's backhand, and he would have to slice it down. He would have to chop it down like Paul Bunyan trapping trees. And that was the head-to-head, just absolutely the epitome of their head-to-head discrepancy for his entire career.
Agreed, Bosidar. None of today's women's tennis players have a heart as big as Serena, or balls.
Balls? Serena has balls?
No, you mean cojones. You know, like mean guts.
Serena has cojones?
It's just saying guts. You know, guts. They don't have guts. They don't want to fight.
I gotta grab something. Be right back. Take a question.
Oh, brother.
I gotta do what I gotta do to survive.
Yeah. They don't have that fight that Serena had. Serena could be down and she would fight. She'd grind her teeth. She would climb, whatever. Even Sharapova. Sharapova was a big fighter. But these ladies these days, they just give up. It's like watching Sabalenka today. 7-5, 6-0. I mean, that was just hideous to me. Come on, Lily, come sit down. Unfair to compare Serena. She's a GOAT. Very true, but this is what we're missing. There's a reason why we'll have no ladies that'll be a GOAT. I mean, I think a lot of you guys said Osaka would be the GOAT, and she's still stuck at 4.
She's got 4 majors.
4 majors. But do you remember, Justin, like 2 years ago, people would say she'll have 8 by this time, which means then she'll get to 13, and then she'll be the next GOAT. Yeah. No, Serena's not overrated. You just don't like her, K-son. You don't. Hey, SD tennis, like, hey, Lily. SD tennis, I promise she's going to play better tennis. She's going to try. Right, Lily? Maybe. She's definitely going to try. Bozidar said, do ladies spend too much time on the tennis court? Maybe so. That hinders their tennis. How would the ladies spend too much time on the tennis court? Do you mean training on the tennis court? I don't feel like you could spend too much time on a tennis court. I think that you need a lot of time on a tennis court. I mean, I tell some of my kids that I train, you know, they say they're tired, and I tell them, look, I used to be out on the tennis court 8 hours a day sometimes. I mean, I don't think there's too much training time. I mean, you have to be able to work out, play tennis, do the mental stuff, watch videos. I think all of that helps. You got to combine it. Play again. I remember my routine was run in the morning, train for 4 hours, eat lunch, take a nap, train again, then do the physical stuff, run up the hills. I did a lot of suicide stairs, jump rope, jumping jacks, push-ups. Then I would hit on the wall for like an hour. Then I would come back, practice my serve. Then I would play a match against someone, and then that would be the end of my day.
Good for you.
Oh, let me ask Lily. You don't have to get up. You can sit there. So can I ask you a question, Lily?
Sure.
Have you ever watched yourself play? Like, have we ever filmed one of your matches and then you watched it? Have we done that? I bet you there's one student that I know, or not. She's not just a student. She's like our family.
Many years I'll aspire.
Carla, check this out. Do you think it would be a good idea?
Yes, we should. So she can watch it.
No. So maybe one day, and I don't even have to publish it here, but do you think I should film her playing someone like Mary Michael?
It would help her.
I mean, Mary
I've
Michael.
done that. I filmed myself, like VHS though. Like, you know,
yeah, and look, and you have to understand, someone like Mary Michael is going to probably throttle you, going to beat you pretty badly. But I think if you can see yourself and how you look when you run the shots and then slice it all the time, how funky it looks. Don't you think you would like to see it? Maybe just so you can kind of see what.
That's good. Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Good idea. Good idea. Well, it's okay. Don't worry. We got a lot of practice matches.
No, you look great.
You're a great player. See, this is the
we're
problem.
Not talking about how
this
you
is
look,
the problem
like
with girls. Guys,
it's your game.
They don't give a shit what you tell them.
They don't care
Girls,
how you look.
they think too much about it. And girls,
Yeah, exactly.
they think too much about it. And you shouldn't care. You should be like Serena. VHS, trouble minds like VHS. You know the things you pop up in your VCR? I mean, it's good to watch yourself. Yeah, it's good because you can see what you're doing wrong, right? I used to watch myself a lot on VHS, on video. Like when I watched myself play your dad, I was like, man, I should have freaking trounced.
But we should do that. And look, maybe we could do it where you play her or I play her, or one of us films it, or we can switch out so she can see what it looks like when she's not turning.
I agree.
Or when she could have hit the top spin.
See, I love this girl because she's like me. But what she's missing is my fight. That's what you're missing, girl.
She's got the fight.
You're missing my fight.
Oh, by the way, she's about to get her own room. So Christopher,
yay! And which means you're gonna play harder tennis. You're gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
Yay!
So of the five children, our next boy is leaving in 8 days.
Yeah.
10 days.
No, he leaves the 22nd, so that's a wake up. Today's 12, so it would be 8 days and a wake up.
Hey!
Yes. So that means, we with the five of us, we've always had a 3-bedroom, or actually sometimes it's been a hotel room, but we've always had a 3-bedroom. So she has gone through a room with 3 kids to 2 kids and now to 1. So she will have
Show you the wall back and
yeah. So she'll have her own room. You're gonna have your own room starting like in a couple days, man. How does it feel to have your own room?
A lot better.
Awesome. That means you're gonna kick ass. That's what you were missing. Christopher, to go away, and now you can be yourself.
You don't need to hide your pretty eyes.
Then you can be yourself. Serena, by the way, is the best. Sorry, King Song, whatever, kiss. She is the best. She's a fighter. SD Tennis says she has to fight, just gets down too quickly, forget the last point, and move on. Exactly. The best tennis players are those that can just forget about the last point. What do I tell my students when they miss the ball? Forget about it. Who gives a crap?
Woogies.
Next point. Who cares?
WGS. Who gives a shit? By the way, Liliana and
she doesn't need to fight because what for? Rather be on TikTok. See? See, this is what we're talking about.
What TikTok? I don't even have a phone.
That's what I'm saying.
No, okay. No, she did you hear what she just said? Lily said she didn't have a phone. Now, I've told Lily, just like I told our older kids, that the day you win your first tennis tournament, we'll talk about it, okay? Now, Chris won like 100 tournaments, and then finally I said, if you win this one just to back up your title, because he won it the same year before, then I'll get you one. And he was a senior in high school when I got it. Junior. He was a junior. Okay, so I told Lily that if she won her first tennis tournament and a decent one, then I wouldn't just talk about it. I would get it.
Believe in yourself.
So
if you don't believe in yourself, no one will do it for you.
If not, then she's gonna. It's just you can sit there and pout, but it's just not gonna happen. We love you. We love you so much. You're such a great girl. But you got to work a little bit harder out there because Lily pouts when we can be practicing and we can feed Lily her first ball.
And she's like, she goes like this.
The first ball.
She does using.
Smash her face. The first
I've
ball.
never seen a girl smack her thigh so hard as her.
Yeah, and I'm not.
And with a racket, she's like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the first ball after 1,000 balls. I'm talking about we go out to the tennis court and I can bring all the balls out, whatever. And we're like, Lily, go over there, and I start feeding balls in. The first ball, the very first feed in of mini tennis, I can just feed her in the ball at the service line, and she misses it, and that she's like, and I'm like, oh shit. She's like getting herself. I can hear her. I tell her the new rule is she's got to serve 100 balls every day and get them in. Not until she gets 100 served, and I can hear her smacking herself from the other side. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I don't like you guys.
There's nothing you can say. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what my dad used to say to me.
I know.
Love me now or hate me now, love me later.
All right.
And guess what? I love my dad. So go ahead. You're done. Jonathan and her will do really well. They'll have fun together because Jonathan makes it fun, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Next topic is, and think about this. Is Novak Djokovic the clear favorite for Wimbledon?
He's the favorite, but
clear favorite.
Not the clear favorite. I think that Djokovic goes in as more beatable this year because of what he's been through.
Why? Psychological issues?
Psychological issues. He doesn't have the same coach. I don't think Goran can pump him up as much as Vajda did. He's lost to people that he normally doesn't lose. He hasn't won a Grand Slam. By this time, going into Wimbledon, he's won at least one.
Tell me one player, and I want you to look in my eye and tell it to me slowly. I want you to turn to me and look at me in the eye slowly and say it slowly.
Slowly. This is not love.
No. I want to, because if you smile, you're wrong.
No, I
want you to look me in the eye. Carla, I want you to look me in the eye and tell me one player slowly, right in my eye, of who you think is going to beat Novak Djokovic.
I think Isner could give him trouble.
That's hilarious.
Justin,
I'm about to laugh.
He's not the same.
Did you hear that? Did you hear this?
Do you
John
guys?
Isner is going to beat Novak Djokovic.
No, I'm not saying beat him.
I'm getting dumber. I'm dumber.
How many of you guys think that Djokovic is as solid as he was last year?
But Isner is going to beat him? Didn't Isner...
Shut up for a second. He is beatable. He is not going as the same Djokovic. I'm not saying that he's going to lose. He should win Wimbledon.
Isner.
What I'm saying is that I myself would volunteer to play Djokovic Wimbledon this year than I would have any other year because this is the year that you have the most chance to win. This year, you have the biggest chance to win. Not last year, not the year before that, not the year after. This year, you have the biggest chance. Just saying.
Okay, can I have like 10 seconds to say one thing? Or I just got dumber after hearing that.
You look dumber.
I'm dumber.
Dumber with a ponytail.
I got dumber. She just came up with John Isner.
I'm just saying players like that with a hard serve. With a hard serve. Zverev, we know he's not playing.
My memory's becoming
Felix could do well against him. I agree with Carla. Nole's not close to his normal. Mental speaking. He's not the same guy.
You couldn't come up with someone better than Isner?
I give an example.
Felix
Sasha Elysium could give him a hard time. I'm not saying that Nole, he would be, obviously, if I had to pick and bet my life, I would say Novak. Okay? Absolutely. But I think he's beatable this year.
I understand.
I don't think he goes as the clear favorite as Swiatek went in.
Clear.
No, he's not the clear favorite.
Clear.
No.
I'll take 1.5.
Look, Michael Walker says, I think Novak isn't guaranteed to win Wimbledon. He's not.
Not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. I'm not saying that.
Justin, last year, he went as the clear favorite. This year, things are different for him. He's older. He's dealt with bullshit at the Australian Open, his favorite Grand Slam, because it's his favorite because he won it, 9 times? He lost to Nadal. Didn't expect that. That was a big blow. He looked deflated. He didn't even fight. He didn't even scream at the crowd like he usually does. He's been losing to people that he normally doesn't. He's not going in with the same coach. There's no way that Goran could tell him anything. Goran does not have that type of experience. Goran was never number 1 in the world. He's not that type of person.
Someone like Goran isn't there to be.
What is he there for?
He's there to keep the energy normal.
Do we think
he's trying to keep his?
Do we think he can keep the energy normal?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and look, just because you're the clear favorite doesn't mean you're going to win it. I mean, come on, that just means that you're the clear favorite betting wise.
I think he can win it.
Djokovic,
I think he can win it, but what I'm saying is, this is the year that someone could stop him. More than any
I
year.
agree with you.
That's all I'm saying. Who can beat him? I don't know. We have to see how he's playing. Does he go out there thinking like Novak thinks, or does he go out there thinking? It depends how his mood is.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's the clear favorite. I don't care what your take is personally, subjectively, but objectively.
I'm just looking at
objectively. He's the clear favorite.
No, I don't think
if it was the French Open, it would be Nadal, but it's Wimbledon and there's no Federer.
He's not the clear favorite. I feel like Novak had no fight in him this French
So you're saying there's no clear favorite?
No, he is favorite, not clear favorite. He's not going in like Iga Swiatek went.
But
it's not him and the rest of the game.
It's
not him and the rest of the game.
But if it was Novak and anyone else active on the field right now that met in the Wimbledon final, and you could ask Federer, that was.
I don't know. Is Novak the king of Wimbledon?
No, I didn't say he was the king of Wimbledon.
Someone said
I'm just saying the clear favorite. Okay, let's. Anyway. All I'm saying, Novak Djokovic is for me the clear favorite, and maybe I'm wrong. Okay, now for the longest time we've talked about Wimbledon being the granddaddy or grandmama tournament of them all. Okay, currently on tour throughout the calendar year, there are 21 clay court tournaments. Okay, there are 43 hard court tournaments, and there are only 8 grass tournaments, including Wimbledon, the major. Okay, of the 9 Masters 1000s tournaments, 0 are grass. All right, 6 of them are hard courts and 3 of them clay. Okay, some people over the years have indicated that the one-handed backhand is a fading art. Okay, I play one-handed. I don't particularly care. All of my children play one-handed except Gabriella. All of my boys, which my youngest is 6, I have trained with the one-handed backhand. I don't want to hear about it. You're going to play with one hand, or it's just going to be a rough day for you. Okay. 6 hard court Masters 1000s and 3 clay 1000s. 0 grass 1000s. How can we continue to say that Wimbledon is the granddaddy or grandmother of them all? Even though when I was a kid, again, look, when I was a boy, Southern California, my father would bring me to a coach that we had Collins, or a coach that we had Brad Humphreys, or another coach that we had Norm, and that would be our Christmas. We wouldn't have the Christmas tree. We would have a Christmas tree, but it was abbreviated. And we would go to our coach's house, and we would watch matches like Sabatini versus Groff. But one of the matches, and I forget if it was Wimbledon or the U.S. Open, but there was a Christmas day that we visited my dad from Alabama. So we went from Alabama to California. We visited my dad. And on Christmas Day, we went and visited one of our coaches. And I don't know if it was Colin, Norm, or Brad. I can't remember. And on Christmas Day, I think it was Brad Humphreys. But we got there, and our Christmas Day was we sat and watched the match where Sabatini finally beat Groff in the major. Was that what was it? Wimbledon, U.S. Open? I forget. It was a 3-setter. My sister was freaking out. Anyway, but we can't continue to say that Wimbledon is the granddaddy of them all, or that grass is the pinnacle of tennis, when it represents almost 0 of the schedule, or almost 0 of the Masters or Premier women's tournaments. Now, what are some reasons that we can come up with why this would be so? Why? Number one, I can go ahead and tell you, and this is the simplest explanation, is the upkeep of the grass courts, meaning irrigation, soil, cutting the grass, people with enough intelligence to get their ass up in the morning and work and cut the grass and keep it right and blah, 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 blah. Because the more and more time goes by, the more lazy as everybody else is. Look, at this point in time, besides my own family members, and a few people that we know really well outside of that, which is namely students that we have, or students that have become family because of that relationship, I wouldn't give them a fucking cent to do shit for me. Not a damn cent, because I would expect that it wouldn't be done. Now, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all, right? This day and age, it's very damn tough to find anyone that will do anything for anyone in any way, shape, or form of time, right? Now, if you don't have time to do anything and you're supposed to keep up with the grass, you're not going to have a grass court tournament because there's not enough people with the knowledge or know-how to, number one, cut the grass to keep up with it, but most importantly, the science to be knowledgeable enough to do so. Okay? Now, Wimbledon has been the pinnacle of grass or the pinnacle of tennis for so very long. However, they were the first tournament outside of the U.S. Open, which had never had no tiebreaker in the fifth. Wimbledon was the first tournament to create a fifth set tiebreaker because of Nicholas Mahut, Kevin Anderson, and John Isner, for crying out loud. They should just kick those bozos out of the tournament. Nicholas Anderson should be fitting. Isner, get lost. Mahut, get lost. Who did I miss there? Mahut, Anderson, Isner, get lost. All of you, just get out. And let's keep our tradition, and you guys get lost, okay? Also, as well, Wimbledon was the only tournament to pull Belarusians and Russians out of the tournament, causing the ATP and the WTA to remove rankings from simply because they were born in a freaking country that they have nothing to do with the politics thereof. So how can you call Wimbledon the granddaddy or grandmammy of all of tennis tournaments this day and age when A, they threw out the no tiebreaker in the fifth because of four pansies, Mahut, pansy, Isner, pansy, Anderson, pansy. Didn't Mahut meet each one of those people in separate finals? Pansy final. Didn't watch it. Holy shit, I'm dying here. Carlo, what was the score the next morning? Because I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so the game changed because of pansy. And Wimbledon's entire ATP and WTA point rendering performance is subjected because of Medvedev. Not even, are you serious? So now this is this is more like the laughing stock thereof. So I'm going to go ahead and revamp the leadership or the echelon of these majors. Number one, French Open. Number one now, French Open. Okay. Number two, U.S. Open. Number three, I'm gonna put the Wimbledon last now. Okay, so do the math. French Open number one, U.S. Open number two, Australian Open number three, and Wimbledon has gone from the granddaddy, grandpappy to the ass kiss my assy real fast because they seem like they're changing every time Boris Johnson goes.
That's what life asks. Who exactly calls Wimbledon the granddaddy of tennis?
Well, a lot of people,
apparently,
millions of people.
Your vote set it off.
All of you guys do.
56%.
Are you serious?
Look at the rest of the
Man,
vote.
you better go to Google.
No, not moving for now, Michael.
Man, are you serious? Every time Boris Johnson goes to another party, he gets more fucked up and makes more crazy moves.
56% of you compared to 16 at the U.S. Open.
Man,
French and 12 Australian.
You got a guy that looks like Frankenstein running your country. Handle that shit, because that shit ugly. Boris Johnson is a laughing stock on the international level, at least here in the States, because he's an idiot. At least how they have him portrayed. And maybe it's propaganda, but homeboy looks like Frankenstein. I'm just saying. They got like pictures of him here like, fuck, man. I'm starting to believe it. Dude, get like your prime minister back. The guy, what was his name? Tony Blair or something. Get someone that looks like a politician and not this guy that looks like he just woke up off the toilet at the prostitution hotel. Anyway, that's how we're led to believe that your leadership is. Deal with that on your own deal. Okay, tonight, the NBA Finals. Right now, it is Golden State Warriors 2 games, Boston Celtics 2 games. Who do you have winning the NBA Finals, and do you even care?
No, I don't. Celtics, I guess.
That's a good young team versus an experience. I'm going to take
the... said Boris Johnson looks like a genius compared to the potato head we got in the USA.
Good point. That's a good point. That's a good point, K-Star. That's a good point. Give credit where credit is due. I would.
And then this was like, congrats on your president. Someone reminded him he is, as he's probably forgotten again.
Hey, yes. Could you put a poll question for this? Could you put a poll? I think this is funny. I had a good time with this. If you could choose to have one president, would it be Boris Johnson or Biden? Because both of them are Barfville.
If you could
choose to have one president, would you rather have Boris Johnson or Biden? I'm probably going Boris Johnson because I think Boris Johnson might live a little bit longer than Biden. Anyway, they're both look like Frankenstein though. Yeah.
Biden or
you just gotta get some young dude.
Who's the other one? Biden or who?
Boris Johnson. You just gotta get
I'm gonna just put Boris.
You gotta get a trustworthy young dude that's ready to just take his shirt off and get. Forget about all this. I don't care where I came from. Get in the trenches, man, and start going to war.
Neither. I'll vote myself.
Carla for president.
Nah, no thanks.
Let's go,
I
girl.
would be a terrible president. I would be ruthless. I would be ruthless.
She would be your South American leader. Who's the ruthless?
I'd be ruthless.
Who's the ruthless president? The ruthless president
I'd be
that goes off in
ruthless.
South America.
If
right
you
now?
wear your pants under your boxers, you're done. Jail.
Who is the?
If you hurt a child, jail.
Yeah.
You get in that car drunk, you hit somebody, you're going to jail for a long time.
Okay.
I'd be ruthless.
Yeah. Next question. Answer this question. Here we go. And I wrote this earlier.
71% said Biden so far.
That's a great answer. I don't give a shit either way. Okay.
Kamala Harris is just a puppet too.
Okay. Here's a question.
The mafia will be popping your car. Yeah, the mafia. I'd hire the mafia. Let's go.
Answer this question. And I wrote this as the whole question at 4:50 this morning. I got up at 4:50. I couldn't go back to sleep. And this is one of the things that I wrote down. Would you, Carla, or would any of you, would you rather watch a first round women's or men's tennis match at Wimbledon or a final round of a really competitive, a really grinding golf tournament such as the PGA Championship or Sawgrass or the Masters or whatever? So would you rather watch a women's first round tennis match at Wimbledon or the final round of any men's or women's golf tournament, say at the Masters or the PGA Championship or the British Open or whatever?
I'd rather watch women's first
you rather
round
have?
tennis. I can't. I just can't do the golf. I'm sorry. It's not for me.
Yeah. Okay, back to Wimbledon for a moment. Wimbledon, as we just talked about, has ruled out letting Russians and Belarusians play.
I'd rather watch paint dry than golf.
Comment of the day right there.
I just can't.
That's comment of the day.
I can't. And you know why? I watch some of these young guys. They're good-looking dudes with muscles. But, I'm like, why are they so bulky? I don't get it. And then you got these fat guys, and you're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rory McIlroy is pretty ripped up, though. If you look at Rory McIlroy, he's pretty ripped up.
He ugly from the face. Good thing Wozniacki did better by her being dumped by him.
There you go. Okay. Next thing, and I'm about to run out of topics, but it's good. My planned hour of segments has come out to be about an hour and 17.
Yeah, we get to eat some beef tacos in a second.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gas prices, fuel, petroleum, petrol. Gas prices are on their way up, way up. The United States average is over $5 a gallon. I'm sure
everything's getting.
I'm sure where Michael Walker is in NYC, he's probably around
$6. We saw the food prices go up by what, $1.50?
Major.
Yeah.
Which
means we're gonna have to go up too.
Yeah. So Carla and I
we've been talking about this.
Yeah, Carla and I live well, let's not exaggerate for this purpose, but we live about 40 miles away from where we work. And we have gas now that's nearly $6, $5 a gallon.
$5,
and so we're having a really hard time because Carla and I's pitch with tennis lessons is we don't want to be expensive like everybody else. We want to keep it just to the level that keeps us surviving.
Yeah.
We just want to be able to.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we have to raise our prices. But not too much.
But okay, let me finish here. We want to be able to. We want to be able to keep the lowest cost, but still give out the most quality. So, but living an hour away, it's like sometimes we go to Circle K in the morning, and whereas we used to be able to pump like $20 in gas, and that would last us 3 days. Now we pump $20 in gas, and it lasts us like only 1 day, and then maybe sometimes I have to fill up or at least put $20 in on the way home. Anyway, gas prices are on the way up. The rents we rent, we don't own a home, we rent it. That was doubled in the past 6 months. Not only doubled, but really tripled if you think about it. I won't get into that here. Gas prices way up. Rents tripled, at least for us. We don't own. Food prices, whether it's meat, if that's your thing, or whether it's Sandwiches today at Walmart. We went and shopped at Walmart. Our closest Walmart from us is like 30 minutes away. There used to be these little sandwiches we get called wraps, a wrap, W-R-A-P, and it would be like chicken wrapped in a tortilla, and it would have some sauce on it, and they used to be like $3. Within the last 2 months, those little sandwiches that you get at Walmart went from $3 to $3.50 to $3.75 to $4, from $4 to $4.50 to $5, and now at $5.50 today. So these little sandwiches that we would get went from $3 to $5.50 in the span of 6 months. Are we wrong for? Are we wrong for now lose? Are we wrong to say, hey, because of all this, we need to increase lesson amount by a couple of bucks, because right now we're starting to take a hit from it. And also, if this type of mindset applies to you, how do you deal with it? I don't want to shoot from the hip and say we're going to do X because of Y and we're going to do Z because of infinity. How are you dealing with it? Because right now, we went to the grocery store today, and we are very budgetable with our groceries. Very budgetable, believe me. We can make a little bit go a long time, and we eat leftovers, and we don't eat out. We don't eat fast food. We don't spend shit unless it's absolutely necessary, and that's a fact.
Sometimes.
Okay. We're coaches. We have to have new shoes, for crying out loud. We can't go to Goodwill for everything. We can't go to Goodwill.
I go to Goodwill. Who said I go to Goodwill?
Anyway, we can't do that for everything. So what I'm saying is that how do you deal with it? And would we as human beings be wrong to maybe increase 2 or 3% because, oh my God, we're getting killed in every direction? How are you guys dealing with it? And are these prices increasing on your fronts? Are you dealing with increased gas prices? Are you dealing with increases rents? Are you dealing with a not abundance of foods?
Yeah.
Right. Think about that. It's changing out there.
Winter will be tough. Yeah, winter will be tough because then you got the heat. I don't mind sleeping in cold though. I like the cold. Michael Walker says inflation's inflation. Zest for Life said, don't worry guys. Sorry, drill baby drill. Pain is running for the Congress. Things are got to get done.
Yeah.
Trouble Mindset is called boom bust cycle.
All right. A couple more topics and we're out. For all of you that pay for the tennis channel, we're two of those that do. Does anyone have a problem with seeing pickleball tournaments as your main event? Carla and I have both played pickleball. We have a lot of fun with it, but because we were raised as tennis players, it seems a little bit more lazy. But because tennis courts are being emptied everywhere, are you excited to see pickleball on the tennis channel? Are you excited to see pickleball and less tennis or not? Are you excited about it or not? I think it's laziness.
I mean, the singles is not so bad to watch. So.
I don't give a shit. It's laziness.
But they shouldn't be putting it on the tennis channel.
I didn't buy the pickleball channel.
Shouldn't there be a pickleball channel?
I didn't buy the pickleball channel, man. Cancel that shit.
That's for Life said I'm not excited.
I'm not excited at all.
Life says monopoly capitalism is designed to operate in such a way so basically we all signed up for it.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, the next time I see a pickleball tournament on my damn tennis channel, I'm cutting that shit off. By the way,
compared to tennis.
By the way, there are multiple people that do this play-by-play thing for pickleball, for MMA fightings, for football, and whatever. 3 of multiple people that I know that do play-by-play, whether it's tennis, pickleball, whatever, anything that's broadcasted on television, they're tearing people down about it. So if you do play-by-play for pickleball, football, MMA, boxing, whatever, be careful, because if that's all your eggs in one basket, it's ending. Believe me, all the copyright people, all the people that put advertisements down are stripping those people with that ability. So ads.
Who said putting pickleball on tennis is like putting ping pong on tennis channel.
I had a friend that did NFL. Every time at an NFL game, he would call it out. Hey, he just went on the field and called it. He got pulled his plug and had thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers and lost them overnight. Don't put all your eggs in.
Cam Dunn? I don't know.
Who? Cam Dunn.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Oh, no. Anyway, be careful with that because ultimately there's broadcasters that are paying like there's video cameras somewhere to be paying for your ability to do that.
Eventually, everything comes to an end.
It has to, yeah. Anyway, for me, I don't know about that. Tennis is relevant here. Our correlation is with NFL football. Anyway, okay. Cooking on a budget. Food prices are going up through the roof, right? Food prices going through the roof. Cooking on a budget. How important, Carla, is cooking on a budget? And are there any things that you can say, being a mother of 5 children, and you're in great shape, and you've been in great shape for many, many years? Are there any bits of wisdom that you can give anyone for cooking on a budget, especially with kids, to try to maintain a little bit of health and a little bit of, I guess you could say, great diet? If you could give someone an example of spending a little bit and maximizing your meals, and as well staying fit and staying a little bit within the healthy food pyramid, what would you say?
I know from my parents, I follow what they did. They always had the beans. The beans go far, especially dry. I mean, I buy the canned stuff, but my mom and my dad used to buy the bags of beans because it was cheap. Rice is very cheap. You can do a lot of dishes with rice. If you want to add a little bit of vegetables, if you can't afford a lot of chicken, put a little bit of chicken in it. That's what I do on Wednesdays when we have our long clinics. I bring the rice cooker, put rice, beans, and a little bit of chicken. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Pasta goes a long way. You can do so much with pasta. Don't buy the ricotta and the cheese. I mean, buy a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sauce.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. Rice, beans, pasta goes a long, long way. Just add little things to fool you in the head.
Yeah, and you can do a lot with rice and beans too. So if you go and you get some wild grain rice,
different type of rice,
or some brown rice,
wild grain rice is good, but it's expensive.
Yeah, now you can look. So today
add some ketchup to everything. There you go.
Well, okay. So this is an interesting thing. So
I know what you're gonna say.
So no, Keishawn mentioned ketchup to everything. We watched a periodical, or we watched a thing the other day, and it was about why did ketchup even come about. So, and during the Industrial Revolution, there was ways to make food mass produced, but because there was no preservatives, the stuff that causes cancer yet, they would release the food, but the food was spoiled, or at least somewhat spoiled. And the only way that you could actually eat the spoiled food, because it smelled and tasted so bad, is by adding a little bit of something, and that something was created to be ketchup, right? So ketchup is just a mask for the flavor of some other type of food. So when I was a boy, my dad, who will watch this eventually, he used to always get pissed off when we went to someone else's house and we asked for a bottle of ketchup. Because if you ask for a bottle of ketchup, then what you have basically said to the person that cooked it is, yo, your food tastes like shit. Give me some ketchup so I can mask the taste of this funkiness. And that's how ketchup came about. So if you're a gentleman or a lady and you're raised in the house of etiquette and good moral standards, and how to shake hands at the net during a tennis match, great shot type thing, and not break your racket because you suck, don't ask for ketchup.
I love ketchup, so I will ask.
So you're saying everybody's food sucks?
No, I love ketchup. I just like hot sauce. I love hot sauce and everything.
Man.
I love ketchup and hot sauce and jalapenos. So I'm sorry, I love it. Yeah, ketchup is like ice to whiskey. Exactly. You need the ketchup, man. You need that hot sauce.
Okay. We are finishing on this note. This is it. We're not even going to debate about it.
I can't believe 71% said fine. What?
Let's go. Okay. Now, let me end it on this note. Last thing, and you can cut it off. Don't forget about this statement. Think about it. Wimbledon is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about Sam Querrey.
Okay, Justin. Now I got dumber. Just saying.
Don't forget about Sam. Dumb. Don't forget about Sam Querrey. I got to play with him before, but anyway, don't forget about Sam Querrey.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Adios. Sayonara. Hasta mañana. Or maybe not. No, not really.
Hey,
busy tomorrow.
Has anyone ever seen the movie The Legend of Billie Jean? It was an 80s movie. Christian Slater was in it. The girl, they had accidentally shot somebody, and there was a putt-putt golf course. And the moral of the story was, and what's fair is fair. You guys if you're my age, 44, I'll be 45 in November, by the way. Let's go. Have you ever seen The Legend of Billie Jean? Have you ever seen it?
Mm-hmm.
You really have?
Yeah, long time.
If you haven't, can we get it tonight? Watch it again.
Oh.
Have you guys ever seen The Legend of Billie Jean? Watch that movie if you haven't. What's fair is fair.
We won't forget Corey, sure. Loser to a wild card qualifier.
In the first round last year, but don't forget.
That's what I told him.
Don't forget, John Isner did too with your dumb ass.
Yeah. Who's
John
dumber?
Isner lost in the first round last year.
Who's dumber?
We're both pretty dumb because I brought up Query and he lost in the first round.
Who's dumber? Isner.
But we both lost.
Query? Who's dumber?
Okay.
Let's make a bet between
but
you and I.
we just lost in the first round.
Let's make a bet between you and I.
There is no bet. We both lost in the first round. Isner lost in the first round last year, and I lost in the first round last year. We both lost in the first round last year.
Who goes further? Query or Isner?
Query.
You want to make a bet?
Yeah, I want to bet.
Interesting between you and I.
Yeah, I want to bet, girl.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Man, tell you what.
Oh, man. Bye-bye. 78% Biden, 22 Boris.
There you go. Boris sucks.